Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be looking at these patch notes for 6.0 Endwalker. I'm very excited. I have a lot of Endwalker videos already planned, but we're going to tackle the patch notes today and see what we got. So, starting off here, of course, we have, this is the climax of the Heidelin and Zodiac story. This is going to be our increase to 90. This has Reaper and Sage, Melviera, all that fun stuff. Also, additional features, of course, will be implemented later. Pandemonium scheduled for 6.01. The Excitatron 6000, and Pandemonium Savage are going to be 6.05. And the new PvP Crystal Conflict is 6.1 or later. So all that stuff will be coming in later. But we have the launch trailer, which we've already done a reaction to on this channel. Very, very fun trailer. We have, of course, all of the changes here, as you would see. Any of these that you see here require the purchase of previous expansions. We're going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. Require the purchase of previous expansions to be able to use that content. New areas for 6.0 have been added. Old Charlian, or Charlan, depending on when you started playing the game. But Charlian is the new pronunciation. Radzatan as well, which looks really great. Can't wait to get into there. Labyrinthos field area has been added. I'm really excited for that one. And then, of course, Thavnair, Garlemald, and Mare Lamentorum, which looks incredible. Mare Lamentorum, we'll see. But of course, some additional new areas have been omitted to prevent spoilers. New field and city aetherites, which look great, by the way. I love the Garlemald aetherite. That looks incredible. And then the number of ether currents in Heavensward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers areas has been reduced. And the location of certain ether currents has been adjusted to make it easier. Because again, don't forget, in 6.0, you will have to gather ether currents again to be able to fly in the new areas. But if you met the new ether current requirement prior to this patch, then you will now be able to fly in those areas, which is very nice. New main scenario quests, of course, and a lot of that will be held back for the sake of spoilers, but the next ship to sail will be the first quest there. New side story quests, including the new Beast Tribes, and including new role quests, which looks very cool. Very excited for these and who we're getting them from. Physical DPS has been divided into melee and physical ranged. And then, of course, we'll have tank, melee DPS, physical ranged, magical DPS, and healer. And I would not be surprised at all if the healer ones come from Kane Senna herself, Tree Mom. Very excited for that. Looks like it's going to be great. And these will all be in Radzatan, which means that's probably where we're going first in the expansion, but we'll see. Studium deliveries have been added, which looks like it's going to be really cool. This is stuff that we had talked about in the live letter breakdowns with the new express delivery or custom deliveries, depending, which looks like it's going to be very cool. And these are going to be in Old Charlian. And then we have certain instance battles will now display character portraits alongside the battle dialogue widget, which is very cool because that'll help you figure out who's talking when you're in the middle of dungeons. Or not dungeons specifically because it's instances, but it still will be nice. Also, I really like character portraits. That's really cool. Reviewing cutscenes in the Unending Journey, class quests, and job quests up to and including those introduced in the 4.x patches will require players to change to a relevant class or job. So you will need to be that class or job to be able to view those in the Unending Journey. But since you're just reviewing ones you've already done, you of course will have that class or job already leveled, so it's not a big deal at all. New Tradecraft and Fieldcraft leaves have been added, which is great, but no Tradecraft leaves or Fisher Fieldcraft leaves. Allowing multiple turn-ins have been added because they don't want you to level immediately by just doing a bunch of level 70 or 81 leaves. They want you to level and do the progression and do the story and then get the other later leaves as you level up. Experience points rewarded when using a class at level 80 or above to complete a leave with a level requirement below 80 have been capped at 1,000. Won't be able to just quick spam a bunch of low-level leaves to be able to get a decent chunk of XP. You'll need to actually do at-level leaves. With consideration for the inflation of Gil and the potential rewards for using a single leave allowance, the following adjustments have been made. The experience points and Gil reward for Tradecraft leaves that allow only a single turn-in have been increased. That's nice. This should help stop the cookies from being the best thing. Coffee biscuits. The experience points and guild reward for Tradecraft leaves that allow multiple turn-ins have been reduced. Experience points and guild reward for Fisher Fieldcraft leaves that only allow a single turn-in to be increased, and multiple turn-ins have been reduced. And then, of course, because of downscaling, it's not possible to make a direct comparison of rewards before and after until after the patch has been launched. And, of course, they'll probably be keeping an eye on it as well, I would think. When undertaking Fisher Fieldcraft leaves that require spearfishing, the number of fish required for completion has been increased. You will have to get more fish to be able to get those. New fates have been added. That looks incredible. That kind of looks like the FF12 boss. Bicolor gemstones, of course, for fates, just like in 5.0 or 6.0, just like in Shadowbringers, which you can turn in with Maveda here to be able to get some rewards. Furthermore, as you continue to complete fates in these areas, gemstone traders will offer a wider selection of items. I didn't mind this too much because, again, it's a good way to level alt jobs. But I know some people were really tired of the grind. But once you have it all, you can kind of just get whatever you want. You know, there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can get for this. So I'm not upset by this at all. And there are, of course, 3 more zones. One of these will be Mare Elementorum. What are the other 2? Very excited to find out. Following additions and adjustments have been made to treasure maps. Maltz skin treasure maps and Cumbera skin treasure maps have been added. And then, of course, rewards for glider skin. That's it. I've been saying Gilder skin the entire time. It's glider skin. The L's right there. And Zonner skin treasure maps have been adjusted. Elegant Tombstones rewarded for completion of treasure maps introduced prior to 6.0 have been changed from Tombstones Revelation and Allegory to Poetics, of course, because Revelation and Allegory will be going away. And starting in patch 6.05, there will be a chance for a teleportation portal to appear with Cumbera skin treasure maps to the new treasure dungeon. Dungeons of Lehagia and the shifting oblets of Lehagia will now be level synced, adjusting players' levels to 80, of course. Grand Company, there'll be some new Grand Company items for supply and provisioning. Reaper and Sage symbol options have been added to Company Crest, which is really cool. New craftable items have been added to the Company Workshop, which is great. The following company actions have been replaced with new actions. Back on your feet is now fleet-footed. Back on your feet 2 is now fleet-footed 2. New items have been added to Grand Company Quartermasters. Grade 8 Dark Matter is now worth 600 seals, which is really cool, because you're going to need that to repair your stuff if you don't want to just pay Gil. And material containers 3.0 and 4.0 are worth 20k each. Don't know what we're going to be using those for yet, but I'm excited to find out. The Imperium in the Firmament of Ishgard for housing. And I know a lot of people are going to be excited for that. A lot of people are going to be trying to do that immediately, but you will only be able to visit the first ward upon 6.0, and the sale of plots and apartments doesn't start until 6.1. So please do not expect tomorrow when the server drops and the patch is available that you will be able to just go buy your house. You're going to have to wait for 6.1 for housing in Ishgard. Preparation for the lottery sale system scheduled to be implemented in 6.1. It will no longer be possible to relocate in the state to plots of land that are not yet ready for purchase. Makes sense. New furnishings from the design contest have been added. Entries that did not win have also been selected to serve as new furnishings, which is very cool. I like that rug. That rug's nice, and I love that on the wall. That looks really nice. The tree swing, very cool. New furnishings have been added. I like this table. This looks really nice. Ooh, that harp and that xylophone. Heck yeah. Crafting facility furnishings can now be used by crafting classes up to level 80. Very cool. In accordance with the increased level cap, level 90 Thavnarian striking dummies have been added. I like the look of those a lot. New Orchestrion rolls, of course. New aquarium fish, of course. And then the change that they had said, where separating out the size of the fish and everything for the aquarium fish window. Very, very nice. New seeds for flower pots. Cool. I wonder, just Tridolea seeds? Hoping for some more seeds added before the end of the patch cycle. I like gardening a lot in FF14. The Menderville Gold Saucer, new prizes. I like that hat a lot with the glasses. Triple Triad, new cards been added. New NPC opponents for Triple Triad. Players can now engage in Triple Triad matches in new areas, of course. Players can now select a male Viera when creating a character. Very cool. I wonder what other prizes are going to be available. New hairstyle options been added for female Viera. Of course, we can see the front and the back there. Looks cool. New Rothgar hairstyles are scheduled to be added in 6.1. A new face option has been added for male Midlanders, which is the trailer face. Sure. The following additions and adjustments have been made to trusts. Here we go. Astinian's been added as a new trust. Ha ha ha. It will become available after progressing to a certain point in the main scenario. But he cannot accompany players into Shadowbringers dungeons. Good to remember. In accordance with the increased level cap, the level cap for Avatar NPCs has been increased. And by progressing to the main scenario, Avatar NPCs can reach a maximum level of 90. Requirements for unlocking scenario mode have been removed. Both avatars and scenario mode will become available after completing the main scenario quest, Shadowbringers. The amount of experience points required for avatars to gain levels will be reduced in accordance with the downscaling of other in-game values, of course, and because it all has to be rewritten to implement the downscaling, any experience points accumulated between levels will be reset to 0, as we already knew. Wondrous Tales. Price available in exchange for Chloe's gold certificate commendation, silver certificate commendation, bronze certificate commendations have been adjusted. Following duties have been added as objectives for Wondrous Tales: the Tower at Paradigm's Breach, the Minstrel's Ballad, Hades' Elegy, Cinder Drift Extreme, Memoria Misery Extreme, Seed Sacrifice Extreme, Castrum Marinium Extreme, the Cloud Deck Extreme, and the level 81 to 90 dungeon. Endwalker entries have been added to the Sightseeing log. Always love those. The following additions and changes have been made to the challenge log. New categories have been added. A boon from nature. Successfully triggered the Gatherer's boon effect while gathering items of comparable level to your own 30 times. Okay, that's cool. Catch of the day. Catch 10 large-sized fish. Spear no effort. Spear 20 large-sized fish. I feel like this is good because there was no reason really to mess with that, you know? So that's cool. Give them what they want. Complete 5 supply and provisioning and 10 supply and provisioning. And then Gathering Storm, Hooked on a Reeling, Spear Me, and Give them what they want. The original versions of those have been removed. Gathering Storm, you could do it, but it was kind of a pain. The easiest way to do it was to go to really low level stuff and just immediately force high qualities. I think this will be way better with Gatherer's Boon. And then the Hooked on a Reeling HQ, that was very much the same. So now just 10 and 20 large-sized fish, I think, is a great way to do that. Skywatcher NPC has been added new areas to give you weather forecasts, which is very nice. Special requirements must be met for certain locations, makes sense. Battle system changes, we're going to get into those in another video where we go through the entire job guide and all the changes coming and my thoughts on those as I react to them for the first time. But the level cap for all classes has been raised to 90. The Reaper and Sage jobs have been added, and they will start at level 70. Which is very cool. Reaper looks great. You get Reaper in Ul'dah, Steps of Nald, which is the killer instinct, and you get it from the Flustered Attendant. Expect everyone to be there when you log in. Then Sage the Healer, we can get in the Limps Elements and Lower Decks by the Charlian Maiden, which is 100% the first thing I'm doing when the patch drops. Very excited for that. Gear for Reaper and Sage has been added rewards for certain duties and will now be sold by merchant NPCs. Please note, however, that Reaper and Sage cannot be used in Hall of the Novice, nor can they receive the first-time completion bonus from Guild Hess, of course. And then, of course, if you haven't seen the job actions trailer is sick, and you should watch it. Actions traits have been adjusted. We'll get into all that. When actions are reset, either upon entering a duty or when the duty is restarted after party incapacitation, certain job resources will also be reset to their maximum values, which is the Oath Gauge and Adder's Gall for Sage, which is very cool. Very, very nice. Selecting to return to the starting port will charge job resources. Certain class and job resources will not be reset when incapacitated. Bards, Coda, Arcanists, or Summoners, Ruby Arcanum, Topaz Arcanum, and Emerald Arcanum, and Astrologians, Astra Sign. The Sick Pet action has been removed. The time frame within which players must execute actions to continue or complete combos has been extended, so your combos can now go for longer. The following additions and adjustments have been made to limit breaks. Use of limit breaks will no longer cancel action combos. Yes! The range of effect for the healer limit break has been increased from 30 to 50 ohms. Okay. So that's the best change. By far. It feels terrible when you healer LB3 and somebody's too far away. 20 more yalms, man. That's great. In order to curb the inflation of game data, such as HP and damage, values used in battle calculations have been downscaled. As a result of this change, various battle-related systems, values, including gear and materia attributes, as well as the potency of meals and medicine, will be reduced accordingly. Please note, however, that these changes will have little to no effect on game balance, because they're squashing everything. People have been very worried about this. It's gonna be fine. They're squashing everything. Everything is getting reduced, and that includes enemy health, enemy damage, all that stuff. Player attributes will be adjusted as followed. Weapon damage will be adjusted to achieve parity between physical and magical damage attributes of weapons at the same level. Action potencies will be adjusted. The effective determination on damage dealt has been increased. The determination and piety attributes of certain low-level gear have been adjusted to match values of their critical hit and direct hit attributes. And again, minor, shouldn't affect anything. The effect of certain monster and NPC actions have been adjusted. The amount of experience points required to level up Disciple of War, magic classes and jobs have been adjusted due to the downscaling. In accordance with this change, adjustments have been made to the following. Experience points earned for defeating enemies. Experience points rewarded for completing quests and leave quests, for completing Duty Roulette, Guild Leaves, Beast Tribe daily quests, daily mark bills, and challenge log entries. And again, you'll lose anything that's in between levels if you haven't already made it to the end. The armory bonus granted below level 80 has been increased from 50% to 100%. If you have a class below level 80, and you have a class that is level 80, everything below that will get 100% bonus. And from level 80 onward, the armory bonus, a 50% increase. if you have a level 90 class, or higher than level 80, basically. Very, very good. The status effect True Self has been changed to Indomitable Spirit, and its effect has been adjusted. And it's applied during instance quest battles wherein player control NPC allies. And the difficulty has been set to easy or very easy. The effect of the status effect has not changed. So if you set it to easy or very easy, it's just now called Indomitable Spirit instead of True Self. In accordance with the increased level cap, New World and Preferred World character bonuses now apply to all jobs at level 79 or below, which is very, very nice. Then we have new enemies. I love this deer type enemy, this elk. It looks very cool. This lizard looks great. What is this cactuar? Is this a moon cactuar? A lunar cactuar? I need to know. And then look at this poor dog man. He looks so sad. I just want to give him a hug, but instead I'm going to have to fight him. New dungeons have been added. Oh, the Tower of Zot, for sure. Look at this burning forest. It rides at Han, I'm guessing, or in Thavnair. And then, is this on the moon? Surely not, right? But it could be. Oh, I just want to see him. Experience points previously earned from standard dungeon enemies will now be earned from dungeon bosses. You will no longer get XP from fighting regular enemies, but instead, when you fight bosses, you will get a chunk of XP. Which should hopefully help the people that just want to grind. What's it called? I just completely forgot the name of it. The Goblin Dungeon where you have the little guy and he runs from the dragon. Oh, I've ran that dungeon so many times I can't remember the name of it to save my life right now. But the hard mode version of that dungeon, you have a big run of enemies before the first boss, and there are people that would just run that over and over again and then leave after the first boss. Yeah, no, just do the dungeon. It's fine. Just do the dungeon. Players will now obtain gear corresponding with the required average item level of each dungeon, because the items obtained for treasure coffers in the following dungeon have been adjusted. Average level 45 or above, Amdakor Heap, Wanderer's Palace. 48 or above, Hawk Manor Hard, Pharaoh Sirius, and Copperbelt Mines. Brave Flux Long Stop. That's the one I'm talking about. Brave Flux Hard. Lost City of Amdapor and Halatali Hard. Temtar Deepcraft Hard. Stone Vigil Hard. Hullbreaker Isle. And then Keeper of the Lake, Wanderer's Palace, and Amdakor Keep. In accordance with the increased level cap, players can now gain experience from level 80 dungeon trials and 5.x Alliance raid dungeons, because of course you can. Also, new trials have been added. Hidden. I love that. That looks very effective. When undertaking the Great Hunt and the Great Hunt Extreme, a new visual indication when shattering Rathalos' tail has been added. I still need to finish that. I'm so close. Unreal trials have been temporarily disabled, but they will come back in 6.1. But you can still exchange faux leaves for various rewards. A weapon coffer has been added to the Howling Eye Hard, the Bolt of Embers Hard, the World Eater Extreme, the Afa Amphitheater Extreme, Thok-Ass Thok Extreme, the Minstrel's Ballad and Nidhogg's Rage, Containment Bay P1T6 Extreme, the Pool of Tribute Extreme, the Jade Stoa Extreme, Hell's Cure Extreme, the Dancing Plague Extreme, Cinder Drift Extreme, Castrum Marinum Extreme. I was supposed to read them left to right, apparently. The Naval Hard, Thorn March Hard, the Striking Tree Extreme, Limitless Blue Extreme, Minstrel's Ballad, Thornton's Reign, Containment Bay S1T7 Extreme, Containment Bay Z1T9 Extreme, the Minstrel's Ballad Shinryu's Domain, the Minstrel's Ballad Tsukiyomi's Pain, the Wreath of Snakes Extreme, the Minstrel's Ballad Hades' Elegy, the Cedar Sacrifice Extreme, and the Cloud Deck Extreme. These are, of course, all the trials in the game, basically. A weapon coffer has been added to them. Does it include Striking Tree, Thorn March? It does. Okay. The weapon received from weapon coffers is determined by your current job. When opening weapon coffers as a paladin, you will receive both sword and shield. Following the introduction of these weapon coffers, the item yield from desynthesizing swords and shields obtained from these duties have been adjusted. Swords are now more likely to yield primal weapon crafting material when desynthesized. Shields, however, will no longer yield primal weapon crafting material, because it would be too OP if paladins could just run these and desynth everything and get a bunch of primal weapon materials. But I think this is a good change. You no longer have to worry about not getting your weapon that you're going for. You can just get the weapon coffer for your job, which is very cool. It means that hopefully you won't have to grind them forever to be able to get the one you want. You know, that a lot of people love the Sophia bow for Bard, for instance, and that can be kind of a pain to get, you know. But if you can just get a weapon coffer for it, then there you go. The gear obtained for treasure coffers, the following duties have been changed to gear coffers: Binding Coil, Second Coil Savage, Alexander Savage, and Omega Savage. Very cool. Accessories will now drop directly as per normal. Players will now receive the power of the Echo in the event all party members are incapacitated during the Cloud Deck and the Cloud Deck Extreme. And of course, it's full Echo for Cloud Deck, half Echo for Extreme. Strength of the Echo graded in Eden's Promise Savage has been increased. The Echo will take effect upon entering Eden Promise Savage, increasing players' maximum HP, damage dealt, and healing potency by 20%. However, unlike other instances, it will not get better if you're incapacitated. It will stay at 20% total, which is very cool. I like that. The Burning Field, an expansion of Stone Sky Sea, has been added. It offers trials tailored to various high-level duties, which players will be tasked with destroying a level 90 striking dummy. You have to complete, of course, a place to train in Radz-at-Han from the hardy-looking Radiant, which you have to have first completed the final quest of the Endwalker main scenario and a striking opportunity for the striking dummy. Weekly restriction on cracked stele clusters upon clearing the Tower of Paradigm's Beach has been removed. New elite marks have been added, and these look sick. Look at this, and that's the lunar jelly. That's the flan. Ah, what's it called? FF4. It's the it's not the pink one. Oh, I can't remember, but awesome. That's so cool, and I love this thing. Look at this thing. Players can now hunt regular and elite marks in the new areas. Marks defeated in the new areas will also yield sacks of nuts. Interesting. More nut sacks for you, just like Shadowbringers. And you turn those in at Old Charlian at the Diminutive Gleaner. And also Old Charlian Jilakshai for the turn-ins, not forgetting the quest. And Radz-at-Han's Wilmetas. Okay. Reaper and Sage Arms are now available for the following Deep Dungeon Avengers, E. Unicator and the Confederate Custodian. Players can now sort the adventurers list by class job when undertaking duties in Eureka, Boscia Zadnor, or Deliberum Reginae. Tripping over these words now. I've been reading for 20 minutes straight. The error message that displays when attempting to use return while undertaking the duties of the Battle of Castrum Lacus Lator or the Dalriada have been adjusted. So now it will display a confirmation prompt while attempting to abandon the aforementioned duties and return to Boscia instead of just taking you out of them and then you not getting any rewards. Additions and adjustments have been made to Delubrum Reginae. The maximum waiting time to enter has been set to 10 minutes. Once the time limit's been reached, players will enter the duty even if they've not reached 24 people. Parties comprised of less than 24 people will be granted the power of the Echo. That's a really good way to do that. Elegant Tombstones of Aphorism have been added. You can only get up to 2,000. They can only receive them after reaching level 90 with at least one class of Disciple War Magic. There's no weekly limitation on Tombstones of Aphorism. You get 2,000 of them total to the cap, and then you spend them and you can get more. Secondary currency, Elegant Tombstones of Astronomy, will be available approximately 4 weeks after the start of the official service. The official service, not the early access, of Endwalker. Allegory will be removed. You can exchange it for Poetics after the drop of the patch. Revelation will be removed. You can exchange it for Poetics. Phantasmagoria will be removed, and it will be gone. You had your chance to exchange it to Poetics. I'm sorry, you should have done it sooner. And then Poetics will still be available, of course. Poetics will always be available. Elegant Tombstones of Poetics will be here well after all of us are gone and the servers have crashed. Poetics will always exist. You can't get rid of Poetics. But yeah, it seems very nice. I like this change. I think that, as usual, this is what happens every time. I like Aphorism and Astronomy. I think those are good names. But following additions and adjustments have been made to the Duty Finder. Category names and duties listed within each have been reorganized. The undersized party option has been renamed to Unrestricted Party. The functionality of this option has not been changed. Now it's unrestricted instead of undersized. 5.x duties can now be undertaken using the Unrestricted Party option. Certain duties will now grant the Epic Echo status when undertaken with the Unrestricted Party option. Epic Echo affects player attributes in order to maintain a level of difficulty similar to that experienced before the introduction of downscaling. Strength of this effect varies by duty level. Interesting. Very interesting. That should mean that, like, Ifrit will still be doable, basically, when you're unsyncing it, you know? Raid Finder now only lists trials and duties introduced with patch 6.0, of course. However, you can still access Unending Coil of Bahamut Ultimate, Weapons for Fane Ultimate, and the Epic of Alexander Ultimate via the Raid Finder. Duty Finder will be adjusted as follows. We have 50, 60, 70, and level 80 have been combined into 50, 60, 70, 80, which is a good way to do that. Then we have the type and number of Elegant Tombstones received from each Duty Roulette have been adjusted. Duty Roulette Expert will come with 80 Elegant Tombstones of Aphorism. 50, 60, 70, 80 will come with 100 Pose and 120 Aphorism. Leveling will be 100 Aphorism. Trials will be 60 Aphorism. Main Scenario will be 300 Pose, 100 Aphorism. Alliance Raids will be 120, 120. Normal raids will be 80 Poetic, 60 Aphorism. Duty Roulette Mentor will be 30, and Duty Roulette Frontlines will be 50, which is very cool. The requirement and rewards for the Adventurer Need bonus have been adjusted for leveling and Alliance raids. Before, you needed to have a class or job at time of registration is level 70 or higher. Now it's 80 or higher. And your reward before was 1 cracked Stella Cluster and 2 cracked Planet Clusters. It's now 1 cracked Antho Cluster and 2 cracked Dendro Clusters, which is cool. And then, of course, Chocobo Companion Xp has also been adjusted. Into PvP, we're going to get into those in a separate video, but Reaper and Sage have also been added. The Feast, Season 20, will end at a pre-season will begin, which should be really interesting. I'm interested in seeing how all that goes. But to avoid delays due to congestion, vouchers are scheduled to be delivered after patch 6.01. They hope everybody understands. New items have been added, so we have this gear here. Looks very cool and is absolutely FF4 based. Cecil, Edge, Yang, Rydia, Rosa, Kane, and what is the Sam gear? I see the hat now. This is not Yang. This is Gilbert. Edward. What is the Sam gear? Is it also Edge? It's not Fusoya. It's definitely not Palomar. I'm not sure. I need to see it a little closer, I suppose. Can we zoom in a little more? Feels like it also might be Edge. New recipes have been added. Certain recipes can now be crafted using quick synthesis. Due to everything going on, they will not be listing this stuff in the patch notes, of course. Certain items can now be sold, desynthesized, or submitted for expert delivery missions, which is nice. The number of slots allotted to the main hand and rings tab of the armory chest has been increased to 50. Yes! Yes! Grade 9 and 10 materia have been added. Attempts to affix grade 10 material will always result in failure when it's used as second or later materia in advanced materia melding. Interesting. Success rate for salvaging grade 7 and 8 materia when using retrieved materia has been increased. Grade 8 dark matter has been added, of course, as we said earlier. The description for items that increase experience points earned has been adjusted. But the items themselves still work the same way. It just now is a little bit more clear. Makes a little bit more sense. Reaper and Sage has been added for required jobs for certain gear. Gear for Reaper and Sage can now be obtained from Grinholt in the Tempest. But you must reach level 80 and complete the level 80 role quest from Shadowbringers, of course, for that. Sale price of certain items have been changed. Following item names have been changed. Heavy elegant flange shards are now solarettes. Replicas are also now solarettes. The thigh boots of striking are now long boots of striking, aiming, and scouting. The pumpkin cookie is now an old pumpkin cookie, which means there's going to be a new pumpkin cookie. And then Heaven's Turn tickets are now Heaven's Turn of the Ox tickets, because Heaven's Turn will, of course, come back. Following items are no longer classified as unique, which is going to be really helpful. The Ronkin rings, the Deep Shadow rings, the augmented Deep Shadow rings, the augmented Crystarium rings, and the augmented Criblurkers rings. Dyeable job-specific gear has been added! Yes! Dyeable job-specific gear. Finally. The following items are also now dyeable. Any of the weathered gear, and the weathered has been removed from their names. Which is cool. Very cool. Following items can now be equipped regardless of gender. Straw hats, the spring skirts. It's the Thavnarian gear, the apron, the dress, the bloomers, the rainbow justicore, the butler stuff. Very cool. All this stuff is now available. You can just wear it. In accordance with the downscaling of values, gear attributes have been adjusted, materia attributes have been adjusted, potency of meal and healing items have been adjusted, potency of meal and healing items below level 50 has been increased. The following adjustments have been made to weapons obtained from Relic Weapon Quest, Zodiac, Eureka, and Resistance weapons. Secondary attributes have been adjusted accordingly. And Anima weapons, all attributes have been reduced due to the downscaling of values. Players will be given the opportunity to reallocate secondary attributes on your Anima weapons. Piety attributes have been removed from the following items: the Paragon's Crown, any of the stuff that you would use as, glamour, no longer has piety. Makes sense. Physical and magical defense of Disciple of War gear that can be equipped by 10 classes. Level 50 has been increased. In light of this change, selecting recommended gear in the character window as a tank may no longer result in the selection of gear with low item levels depending on what is available in your inventory. Thank you. It's very annoying when you had the low-level gear that is the head and chest piece, and it kept it equipped even though you had better stuff, because it was better for the one slot than the new piece was, but it wasn't better for both. Very annoying. So thankfully, that's fixed. Players can no longer cast lots on coffers containing multiple gear pieces if they contain a unique item the player already possesses. However, it is still possible to cast slots on coffers such as weapon coffers, whose contents differ according to the player's current class or job when it's opened. Interesting. Interesting. So you already have a unique item, you can't roll on the other stuff? We'll see. I'm curious how that turns out. The error message that displays when failing to open a chest containing unique items you already possess has been adjusted. Following changes have been made to belts. Belts can no longer be equipped. The waist tab of the armory chest has been removed. Belts can no longer be repaired. Materia can no longer be extracted from belts. Materia can no longer be affixed to belts. Belts can no longer be purchased from shop vendors of the market board. Belts can no longer be put on sale on the market board. Belts can no longer be traded to other players. Recipes for belts have been removed from the armorer, weaver, and leatherworker crafting logs and can no longer be crafted. Belts can no longer be obtained as quest rewards. Belts can no longer be obtained as rewards via instance dungeons, alliance raids, or high-end raids. Belts can no longer be obtained as reward from treasure hunts. Belts can no longer be obtained as reward from guild leaves. The category for these items have been changed to unobtainable, and their descriptions have been adjusted. Belts are no longer required for the completion of any guild leaves. Belts are no longer required for the completion of any supply missions. Belts can no longer be obtained from gear coffers. Belts are gone. Get rid of your belts. Nobody likes them. Nobody wants them. Drop your pants. Before becoming obsolete due to the advancements in tailoring, belts such as this were used for holding up trousers and the like. Rid of your belts. Belts will be moved to the Calamity Salvager under the following circumstances. They are equipped by players or retainers, or they are stored in a player's armory chest. In accordance with the removal belts, the calculation used to determine average item level has been adjusted. In accordance with the removal belts, the following furnishing recipes, which required rope belt, will instead require 3 bundles of straw, the stuff Mesleyan Marlin, dried well, and laundry pole. In accordance with the removal of belts and the crafting recipes, the following changes have been made to achievement requirements. Basically, you no longer need a belt for these, which is great. And it's a lot of them because belts were, a lot of belts in the game. Speed belt can no longer be obtained from Eureka Pagos. A new item, Blitz Ring, can be obtained in its place, which is very cool. Sundry Supplies, a one-stop shop for gear and items purchased in exchange for Allig and Tombstone scripts, has been added to the Crystarium, which is very cool. Icons indicating required currencies have been added to the drop-down of the item exchange menu. Thank you. That's very nice. The following adjustments have been made to gear exchanges for Allig and Tombstones of Phantasmagoria, Allegory, and Revelation. Gear that required the exchange of a base item and the upgrade material can now be obtained directly in exchange for pose. The base item and upgrade materials for such gear can no longer be obtained from shop, dungeons, or retainer ventures. Players who possess the base item for such gear may upgrade them in exchange for 100 Allig and Tombstones of Poetics. The maximum amount of crystal sand and umbrite required to complete an animal weapon has been reduced from 80 to 60. Thank goodness. New items have been added to the inventory of Calamity Salvagers. The requirements for purchasing the following items for Calamity Salvagers have been adjusted. Before, you had to complete the main quest More Fierce Than Fire and obtain the achievement Tool Time for the Hand for this one. Now it's just saving Captain Gerhard. And again, same way, it changes the story quest to be able to get these things from the Calamity Salvager. Cost of purchasing grade 6 materia from Sundry Splendors. Hismina in Idleshire has been reduced from 800 to 100 pose. Nice and cheap. Collectible dealer in Mordona has been removed. The level cap for Disciples of the Hand and Land has been increased to level 90. The amount of experience points required to level up has been adjusted, of course, just as before. Crafting or gathering, completing duties applied by engineering manuals or survival manuals, all been adjusted. Purple Crafter script and Purple Gatherer script currencies have been added for the Disciple of Hand and Disciple of Land. They're level 90. The following additions and adjustments have been made to crafters and gatherer scripts. White scripts are now obtainable for exchange. You still get white scripts. That hasn't changed. Yellow scripts rewards will be changed to white scripts. Yellow scripts are gone. Can be exchanged for white scripts. Red scripts are gone for good. Should have exchanged those already, just like the previous Tombstones. And Yellow Gatherer script no longer available, no longer gathered, can't be gained. To improve functionality of the script exchange window, categories have been reorganized in a new interface according to script type and level range, allowing players to more easily specify desired item exchange. That's really cool. Available menu categories from the Splendors vendor in Idleshire have been changed. Now, instead of Tradecraft tools, gear, all that stuff, it's just Tradecraft items, Fieldcraft items. Thank goodness. That's so much easier. The following adjustments have been made to script tokens. Blue Crafter script tokens are no longer obtainable from the Splendors vendors NPC. Splendors vendor is a fun word to say in Idleshire. Flying text will now be displayed when using actions or items that restore CP or GP. Okay, that's cool. I like that. New actions and traits have been added for Disciple of the Hand. Advanced Touch, which you get at level 84, increases quality, efficiencies 150, success rates 100. Combo action with Standard Touch, combo bonus CP cost reduced to 18. Heart and Soul, which you get at 86. Specialist action, effect ends if the aforementioned actions are executed when material condition is not good or excellent. Ooh. Allows the execution of Precise Touch, Intensive Synthesis, or Tricks the Trade regardless of material condition. Effect ends if the aforementioned actions are executed when material condition is not good or excellent. A crafter's delineation is used upon execution. Can only be used once per synthesis. The action does not increase step count. That's a good action. That's a very good action for crafting. Then there's Prudent Synthesis, which we get at level 88. Increases progress at half the durability cost. Efficiency is 180. Success rate's 100. Unavailable when Waste Not or Waste Not 2 is active. That makes sense. Don't want to game that. Trained Finesse at level 90. Increases quality at no cost to durability. 100 efficiency. 100 success rate. Available only when Inner Quiet stack is 10. That is great. That's going to make crafting so much more fun. We also have some traits. Inner Quiet, which you already get at level 11. It now gains a stack of Inner Quiet with every increase of quality up to a maximum of 10. The effect is grants a 10% bonus to the efficiency of touch actions for each stack, which means that at 10, that is going to be an extremely effective free use Trained Finesse. That's very good. Careful Synthesis Mastery, efficiency is increased to 180. Nice. Groundwork Mastery, efficiency is increased to 360. That's crazy. That's great. However, Inner Quiet, Name of the Elements, Brand of the Elements, and Patient Touch have been removed. So if Patient Touch was required for your macro, maybe double check it. Crafter actions also Biragot's Blessing. As a result of Inner Quiet being changed to a trait, following adjustments have been made. Now requires at least one stack of Inner Quiet and increased to efficiency. Now has a maximum of 300%. I thought this was an update to Inner Quiet. It's not. Inner Quiet's being moved to a trait that you get automatically, which is very cool. Grants a 10% bonus, okay, for each stack, and you just get them. That's very cool. That's very cool. Reflect. CP costs have been reduced from 24 to 6. Additional effect has been increased from increases Inner Quiet stack by 3 to grants an additional stack of Inner Quiet stack up to 10. And it's way cheaper now, which is really cool. Trained Eye cannot be used with expert crafting recipes. Very, very cool. I like it. 2 stacks of Inner Quiet as a result of this action's additional effect. Following recipes for gladiators, arms, and shields have been removed and replaced with recipes to craft them as a set, which is nice. Just make them as a set now. Like that a lot. Following adjustments have been made to the crafting log. They really should just make it like an individual. They can't because spaghetti code, but it should be just like, instead of sword and shield, it should be just like, hey, here's your one item that gives you both. Recipes listed under the level-based recipe and special recipe tabs are now ordered from highest level to lowest level. An option to add items to your market board favorites list has been added to the sub-command menu for recipe ingredients. Housing 1 and 2 are now fixtures, outdoor furnishings, indoor furnishings, tables, rugs, tabletop, wall mount, and other. Nice. An icon, way more useful, right? An icon's been added to indicate high quality versions of material may be used for initial increase to recipe quality. Okay. Following Sky Steel tool materials are no longer required to be high quality when exchanging for upgraded tools. Very nice. But you can still use the high quality ones. Players above level 80 will receive a maximum of 1,000 XP when submitting items to the House of Splendor or Guardian Restoration. Now possible to submit collectible fish with a low collectability rating to the House of Splendors, and you'll get experience points and scripts adjusted with those submissions. The amount and type of crafters and gatherer scripts received from custom deliveries have been adjusted. It is now possible to submit collectible fish with a low collectivity rating for custom deliveries. Due to the downscaling of values, the progress and quality values when crafting have been adjusted, which makes sense. Resplendent tool components crafted prior to release 6.0 have been renamed obsolete Resplendent tool components, okay, because you're going to be getting new ones, I'm sure. New actions have been added for Disciple of the Land. Miner is getting Mountaineer's Gift 1 at level 15, increases the chance of triggering Gatherer's Boon by 10%, which is very nice. Does not apply to items at 0. Mountaineer's Gift 2 at level 50 increases the chance of triggering Gatherer's Boon by 30%. Then Naldal's Tidings at level 81 increases item yield from Gatherer's Boon by 1. Collector's Focus at 85 increases the chance to trigger Collector's Intuition by 75% on your next collectible action. That's very good. And then Wise to the World, level 90, grants another gathering attempt. When gathering collectibles, restore 1 integrity. Can only be executed under the effect of Eureka Moment. Just a free gather attempt. We're going to get into the traits for how that works, too, which is going to be really nice. Botanists, pretty much the same way. Pioneer's Gift 2, Nofficus Tidings, Collector's Focus, and Wise to the World. Fisher gets Thaliac's Favor at level 15. Restores 150 GP. It costs Angler Arts. Fisher's going to be so fun after this. Makeshift Bait at 48 allows the execution of Mooch even with average-sized fish. Duration for 145 seconds. Angler's Arts cost is 5. Action has no effect on fish caught prior to execution. Then we have Vital Sight at 64. Sharpens your vision, making fish easier to target. Cost 2 Angler Arts. Effect ends when you finish spearfishing at your present location. Baited Breath at 75. Holds your breath and reduces the wariness of nearby fish. Cannot be executed when wariness exceeds a certain threshold. Then we have Prize Catch at level 81. Guarantees the next fish caught will be a large-sized fish. Okay. Effect ends after hooking a fish. Cancels current mooching opportunity. Electric Current at 85. Electrifies the water and captures all fish present in your field of vision. Wariness of other nearby fish increases with the number of fish caught. Requires a catch counter of 10 to execute. Can only be executed once per spearfishing attempt. I love that. And then Triple Hook. Hooks 3 or more fish in a single cast at level 90. Yield is determined by fish type and your gathering rating. Some fish cannot be triple hooked. Very, very cool. We get our new traits for Miner and Botanist. Enhanced GP Regeneration 3. They get it at level 83 and raises the base GP Regeneration by a total of 3. When gathering, raises base regeneration by 1. So it's just even more GP that you regain. And then Enhanced Solid Reason and Enhanced Ageless Words at level 90. Adds to Solid Reason or Ageless Words a 50% chance that you'll be graded a Eureka Moment, which is very cool. Level 15 for Fisher, you get Angler's Art. May grant a stack of Angler's Art upon landing a large-sized fish and have a maximum of 10. Chance of being granted Angler's Art differs between fishing and spearfishing. Then you also get the Enhanced GP Regeneration. And then Starfishing at level 89 that allows you to cast your line in space! Okay. Okay, I'm grabbing a screenshot of that real quick to put on Twitter. Very, very excited. We're going to keep going. But I'm going to put that on Twitter in a minute because, oh my gosh. All right. The following actions and traits have been removed from Disciple of the Land. Preparation, Unearth, Deep Vigor, Unearth 2, Dredge, Dredge 2, Unearth 3, Nalthal's Council, Pick Clean, Mind of the Mountaineer, Preparation, Leaf Turn, Brunt Force, Leaf Turn 2, Prune, Prune 2, Leaf Turn 3, Nafka's Council, Pick Clean, Mind of the Pioneer, Gig Head, Calm Waters, Bountiful Catch, Identical Gig, Unearth Mastery, Leaf Turn Mastery, and Fish Whisperer. And this should balance out everything with how many stuff you're losing, but how much stuff you're gaining. So, following actions and traits have been adjusted for Disciples of the Land. Solid Reason, now upon learning Enhanced Solid Reason has a 50% chance you get the Eureka Moment. Collect has been moved to the Actions tab and can now be assigned to a hotbar. And Luck of the Mountaineer no longer requires HQ Chain 2 to execute, now requires GP to execute instead. Botanist, Ageless Words works the same way. Collect and Luck of the Pioneer works the same way as Luck of the Mountaineer. For Fisher, Chum, now acquired at level 5 instead of 54, and the GP cost has been reduced from 145 to 100. Fish Eyes no longer has an effect on legendary fish. Fish found when ocean fishing or any fish introduced from Shadowbringers onward. Veteran Trade, the effect of this action has changed. It now functions where you prevent the same fish you just caught from appearing again. Has no effect on some fish. Nature's Bounty now increases the chance of landing a large-sized fish in your next spearfishing attempt. The chance of landing a large catch increases based on your perception rating. And there's a new trait, or a changed trait, Gull Eye. All Gull Eye traits have been consolidated into one. The effect is as followed. Allows you to discern the location of fishing holes at or below your level. Makes sense. Following adjustments have been made for Disciples of the Land. It's no longer possible to gather high-quality items. Wow. Furthermore, the chance to obtain high-quality items has been replaced with Gatherer's Boon effect. Okay. So now you just get more of them instead of high quality, which also explains... But then how are you supposed to get high-quality items to craft with? Because we saw this stuff earlier with the craft version. Gathering point characteristics that previously increased the chance of obtaining high-quality items will now increase the chance of triggering Gatherer's Boon. The 200% bonus to experience points when gathering high-quality items has been replaced with a 100% bonus to gathering points, to experience points when using Gatherer's Boon. The requirement for the Botanist and Miner and Eye for quality achievements has been changed to be the Gatherer's Boon effect. New items with specific perception requirements have been added to gathering points for Miner and Botanist. The Vitality attribute on Gatherer gear has been adjusted. The following adjustments have been made to Gathering Log. Items listed under the level tab are now ordered highest level to lower. Thank goodness. And the categories under the special tab has been adjusted. Thank goodness. Items obtained by gathering or fishing can no longer be available as high quality. Items obtained by defeating enemies. Items obtained from elegant tombstones, from crafter script, gatherer script, or ethereal reduction can no longer be high quality. Craftable items will still be available as high quality items. In addition to crafting, they may be obtained via other means, including treasure hunts and desynthesis. Ooh, yet more reason to desynth. High quality items crafted prior to 6.0 will remain unchanged. Your high quality items will still be there, so it's okay. In accordance with the removal of high quality items from gathering and fishing, the following adjustments have been made. Following quests can now be completed with normal quality items, of course. Bonuses for submission have been removed for high quality. Fishes can no longer catch high quality at all, and instead will catch large size fish. Chance to receive the Angler's Art effect when you catch a large size fish. Following actions and game features no longer use high quality fish, and will instead use large size fish, mooch, Patience 2, the release list, and the achievement, the one that didn't get away. Man, there's so much in these patch notes. The following addition and adjustments have been made to high-quality items. High-quality items that can no longer be obtained will now contain the message functions as a normal quality item in their description. Wow. High-quality items that can no longer be obtained cannot be sold via the market board, nor can they be traded to other players. High-quality items that can no longer be obtained will no longer grant an initial increase to recipe quality when crafting. Though they can no longer be attained, they may still be submitted for the completion of guild leaves and grand company words, supply and provisioning missions. Please note, however, they will provide no bonuses. The high quality is now basically worthless for you unless it's gear. Gathering Beach Branch and White Oak branches have been changed to 61 and 71 instead of 60 star 2 and 70 star 2. Spearfishing system has been overhauled. Now includes a mini game where players strike fish as they swim across the screen. I just want to fish now. Forget everything else. I just want to fish. With your spearfishing gig equipped, use the Fathom and Shark Eye actions to locate teeming waters. As your fish swim across your field of vision, strike them with the gig action. Fish are caught by striking their weak spot as they swim through the teeming waters. Certain fish will have a distinctive appearance, indicating they're guaranteed to be large size when caught. Wariness, fish will take notice of your actions in the teeming waters. The wariness will be represented by a gauge. Increases slowly over time, as well as with each strike of your spear. When the gauge is full, fish will disperse, ending your spearfishing attempt. Successfully catching fish in quick succession will increase your catch counter up to a maximum of 10, which slows the rate at which wariness increases. Be mindful, however, that the counter may reset should you go too long without catching any fish. And you can back out with escape or quit. Following action adjustments have been made to spearfishing. New teeming waters have been added, and according to it, the category names for fishing records and the method by which size has been recorded has been adjusted. Specific fish in certain locations may grant players the effect of spearfishers' intuition, where they can locate rare species of fish, and AAA records can now be obtained from certain teeming water locations listed in the fishing log. Ocean fishing has been changed. When catching large-sized fish, players will receive a 100% point bonus. The Gull Storm effect granted when a flock of seagulls appear has been changed to increase the chance of landing a large-sized fish. In accordance with the increase in level cap, the rewards granted based on player level has been adjusted. More experience points and more White Gatherer script, of course, or White Gatherer script and Purple Gatherer script if you hit the certain conditions. Following additions and adjustments have been made to fishing. New fishing holes have been added. S-rank records can now be obtained from certain fishing spots listed in the fishing log. Very cool. Progress towards fisher's intuition will remain even after logging out. Yes! Fishing's the real end game. We're fishing for the stars! The sale price of the following fishing baits has been reduced for live shrimp, mitch larva, moyebi shrimp, dessert frog, nightcrawlers, silkworms, and marble nymphs. Nice. New tomes of regional folklore have been added. New miner and botanist gathering points have been added. New items have been added to gathering points. Gathering point for the following items have been changed for yellow copper ore, pyrite, yellow quartz, chalcedite, coloscodite, limonite, green quartz, light kidney ore, cooperite, beach branch, and white oak branch. New items that can be used for ethereal reduction have been added. The number of items received from ethereal reduction has been increased. Level cap for desynth has been increased from 520 to 580. And there's new mounts. What? You got excited in the TV? You're Mike the TV. I'm getting too excited. I gotta screenshot that one too. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. Look at how cool that is, man. Mike the TV. That's great. New minions have been added. Oh, look at that little crab. New chocobo barding's been added. New fashion accessories have been added. You can have fairy wings now. New market board has been added to Old Charlayan. Retainers can now be registered to Old Charlian Market. Retainer level cap's been increased to 90. Retainers can now be set as Reaper and Sage, but they cannot be an already assigned job, or they must be reset, basically. So keep that in mind. Retainers must be Disciples of War or Magic at level 70 or higher for that, and they must first unlock Reaper and Sage. They must possess a copy of... Players must unlock it, and they must possess a copy of Modern Vocation. And the amount of experience, of course, for retainers to level will be adjusted along with all the rest of the downscaling. Following additions and adjustments made to retainers, new objectives have been added: delivery missions, exploration ventures. Number of items obtained upon completion of delivery missions, exploration ventures has been increased. New items can now be obtained from quick exploration ventures. The bonus to items received for gatherer delivery missions will now be affected by a retainer's perception rating rather than gathering rating. The required item level or gathering rating required for delivery missions can now be confirmed before selecting a mission. When selecting items in the delivery mission window for gatherers, the options search recipes using this material and search for item by gathering method have now been added. Players can now confirm items not recorded in their gathering log when viewing the delivery missions window, and the botanist delivery mission for Beach Branch has been changed from level 60 to level 61. Achievement window has been revamped. Looks very nice. I like it. Near completion and recommended tabs have been added. Displays all achievements that are nearly complete, and recommended, of course, ones that they think you should do based on your area or whatever. New achievements titles have been added. Following adjustments have been made to teleportation. An option has been added to only use Aetheryte tickets when the cost exceeds a specified guild allowance. Heck yeah. An option to enable confirmation prompts when using Aetheryte tickets has been added. The guild cost for using teleport has been adjusted. Teleport will now get more expensive, but we don't know how much yet. A map will now be displayed when using Ethernet destinations. That's very cool. Instead of just having to try to remember which one's which, that's awesome. Maps will not be displayed when using Ethernet in the Eureka or Boscia or the Firmament. The world map has been updated to include the 3 great continents. Heck yeah! Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I wish I had like a huge version of this, but let's see. Yeah, it's going to be very hard to make out any details here, but love it. Viewing the map, players can now toggle between levels by pressing L, B, and X. Very cool. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the player search menu. Reaper and Sage have been added to the search menus. Of course, they look great. Custom options have been added on the location, and you have your custom locations there, which is very cool. Party list will now display the target of spells cast by the party. Race 1. Okay, very cool. That's going to be really helpful as a healer to know who's casting what on who. Their number in the party list will be displayed. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the party finder. Search results will no longer include parties you cannot join due to the 1 player per job setting being enabled. Pure healers and barrier healers can now be specified when recruiting party members. When a party member withdraws from a duty that's about to start, other party members will also receive a notification that a penalty has been incurred upon the player who withdrew. Thank goodness. The ether compass has been moved to the collection menu. That makes sense. HP bars will now display even when incapacitated, so people can see that you are dead and not just playing dead. That's nice. The conditional enhancement category has been added to the HUD layout interface. I like that design a lot, actually, for your different stacks, your different buffs and debuffs. Following additions and adjustments have been made to ground targeting. Cursor speed setting has been changed from 0 to 100 to 0 to 200. An option to prevent the cursor from moving beyond ground targeting range has been added. An option to execute actions by pressing the action button a second time has been added, which is great. Love that. A text command to execute ground targeted actions without entering ground targeting mode has been added. When submitting or trading items, right-clicking with the mouse or pressing X with the controller will automatically select high-quality items, collectible items with the highest rating first. Thank goodness. In accordance with the increased level cap, the conditions that must be met to set your status as new adventurer have been adjusted to having played less than 300 hours and have not yet completed the main scenario quest Death Unto Dawn, which is nice. A bonus to experience points earned when a mentor forms a party with a new adventurer returner will now apply until level 80. In accordance with the increased level cap, the requirements for new mentors have been adjusted. You must have completed a level 90 tank roll, healer roll, DPS roll, and at least 1,000 dungeons and 1,500 player commendations. Or must be at least level 90 with at least 1 crafter, 1 gatherer, must have synthesized at least 100 collectibles, and must have gathered at least 300 collectibles. Players who are currently mentors must renew their certification during the 6.0 patches. Players who fail to do so will be unable to access certain features during this period. Once the renewal period is ended, players who have not renewed their certification will lose their mentor status and must wait until after patch 6.1 to reapply for certification. Which, yeah, of course. New dungeons are available for Explorer mode. Siren Song Sea, Barnum's Meadow, Castrum Albania, Shisui of the Violet Tides, and Doma Castle. Shisui is going to be a great one to be able to just explore without having to fight anything. Following changes have been made to group pose. Can now be initiated when using performance actions. Looks great. Love that. Can now be initiated when undertaking a duty as an NPC ally or when transformed into any NPC. Okay. New frames have been added. New stickers have been added. NPCs that accompany you in certain quests introduced with 6.0 can be set as targets. Duties that can be recorded via the duty recorder have been changed. Before it was the Puppet's Bunker and Eden's Promise Eternity Savage. Now it's the Tower of Paradigm's Beach and then 2 new trials that'll be in the 6.0 patch cycle. When selecting items being sold by your retainer, the options search for item using crafting method and search for item by gathering method have been added to the subcommand menu. When unlocking active help entries, a link to the active help window will appear in the chat log. The error message displayed when failing to send a tell to a player on another world who's not registered you as a friend has been adjusted. Players can now disable resizing the chat log via window via mouse drag. Haha. Nice. Okay. In order to reduce server congestion upon the release of 6.0, the following measures will be implemented temporarily. Players who are inactive for 30 minutes will be logged out automatically. New areas will split in multiple entrances, just like always, just like we talked about on the podcast. Features of the DualSense controller and DualShock controller can now be used on the Windows Direct 11 version only. That's cool. Haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, sound effects via built-in speaker, and rumble and built-in speaker. Very nice. Support for Embody's immense spatial audio has been added. They talked about this during the live letter. Additions have been made to the system configuration interface. For sound settings, the following options have been added to the character configuration menu. Display character portraits with battle dialogue widget. I want that for sure. Battle effect settings, PvP opponents. Ground targeting settings where you don't have to move it, basically. You can just hit the action twice to execute it. And log window resizing. Additions and adjustments have been made to text commands. Ride pillion, which allows you to ride the pillion on a selected party member's mount. Patch Note, which lets you open the Patch Note link. Pet Glamour, which after the appearance of select summons, you must resummon the Eggy. So this will be for your Eggies. Carbuncle, Garuda Eggy, Titan Eggy, and Ifrit Eggy. And you can still make it Carbuncle, Emerald Eggy, Topaz Carbuncle, Ruby Carbuncle, Emerald Carbuncle, that is. Garuda Eggy, Titan Eggy, or Ifrit Eggy. So that's your new Eggy Glamours. It's now Pet Glamour. Pet Size, of course, which will let you change their sizes. Enemy PC has been added to subcommand for Battlefield battle effect text command, allowing players to toggle the effects of any combatant in PvP. And GT off has been added as a placeholder for the following text commands, allowing them to bypass ground targeting and be executed. I've read that as get off at first. Action, PvP action, blue action, field marking, and general action. System sound speaker test command or text command for wireless controller sound settings now available, and the in-game text commands list and /? Text command will no longer show information for emotes you have not yet unlocked. Additions have been made to the Auto Translation Dictionary, which is cool. Additions have been made to PS4 and PS5 Autocomplete Dictionary. New trophies have been added for PS5. The sound engine has been improved to more easily discern sound effects when a large group of players are present. New music, sound effects, and voice have been added. In preparation for the Oceania Data Center, the Data Center selection screen has been adjusted. It looks great. UI resolution setting is set to high. The title and character selection menus will also use high-resolution fonts. High-resolution fonts, words. The following additions and adjustments have been made to the game launcher. The design's been changed, of course. Theme settings have been changed to light and dark, and an option to restore game data has been added, which is very cool. Title screen logo and opening movie have been changed to those of Endwalker, and Reaper and Sage have been added to the solar rankings for Palace of the Dead and Heaven on High. We have a whole list of resolved issues here and a whole list of known issues. Certain face paints weren't showing up or Male Mikotes properly. Issue wherein players could not change to the limited job Blue Mage after entering a treasure dungeon. Issue wherein certain rewards yield from Usnair, and both Lost Canals and Shifting Altars were incorrect. And morale was not working correctly in Dalriada. An issue during the fate Shira Yak, wherein a clan mark icon appeared over Woolly Yak, so players were carrying a stack of one-star clan mark bills. An issue wherein the effect of the Lost Action Resistance Medkit overwrote the Bard action, the one who's paying. That's a bad time. Issue wherein the G-Warrior Furnishing could not be retrieved from the Calamity Salvager. An issue wherein players could not preview the Valention's Cake and Green Tea Set furnishings. That's a problem. An issue where using the small florist walls exterior fixture caused pillars to overlay windows inside of the state. An issue wherein certain desynthesizable furnishings could not be desynthesized. An issue wherein sitting on furnishing placed next to a fence resulted in players appearing to float in the air. An issue wherein the item Verdant Shelf Partition was sold under the wrong category from the housing merchant in the residential areas. An issue wherein dyeable portions of the gear Frontier Jacket and Griffinskin Jerkin were incorrect. An issue, I've actually seen that with the Griffinskin Jerkin. An issue wherein the item level of certain crafting materials was incorrect. An issue wherein the requirements to claim certain items from the Calamity Salvager were incorrect. An issue wherein the graphical effects displayed by certain crafter primary tools when crafting were incorrect. An issue wherein advanced material melding could not be used on certain primal weapons. An issue wherein the class requirements to repair certain hand saint secondary tools was incorrect. An issue wherein the requirements to obtain certain orchestrion rolls was listed incorrectly. An issue where players could erroneously obtain the Dark Embrace orchestrion roll from Copperbell Mines. An issue wherein the sound of the end orchestrion roll was incorrectly sorted when viewed on the market board. An issue wherein the graphics of the Cruise Chaser mount displayed incorrectly. A problem, because that's a premium mount. People paid for that. An issue wherein setting battle effects to show limited or show none caused the Magitech armor mount to play no sounds when using its special action. Interesting. An issue wherein entry 72 of the sightseeing log could be completed via an unintended location. An issue wherein the number of items obtained via retainer ventures and exploration ventures were incorrect. And an issue wherein certain minion interactions could not be seen when using group pose. And of course, other things have been adjusted. There's a lot of known issues too. Certain graphics aren't working in Liberinthos, but they still have time to fix these. They've been working on these all day. They're just letting you know about them so that you're aware. But yeah, that's the patch notes. It's a lot. It's an hour's worth of stuff, right? It's a lot, but it's a lot of really good stuff. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comment section down below. Space fishing! And until next time, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Endwalker has to offer.